Hi everyone, this is Abigail Amangwal with The Nocturnal, and we're at the New York City screening of the American Society of Magical Negroes, premiering March 15th. We're going to go ahead and interview some stars, get a little scoop, and even get to see a preview of the upcoming movie. So let's go.
This was a really, really fun project to design, but also really challenging. I had a lot of bodies, a lot of background, a lot of people, and a lot of different nuanced beats that I had to make without making it something like overtly satirical in terms of what that looked like. So I really skewed a line between doing something that was like incredibly like cliche and then something that was more poignant.
Can I just say your dress is giving me 90s vibe, aesthetic, velvet, the flowers. What are you wearing?
I think it's Betsy Johnson, but it's a friend of mine, Sabrina's a stylist, and she loves vintage, so she found me something kind of vintage and punk.
Can she find me something vintage?
Absolutely. You want her number?
Yeah, absolutely. So you play Lizzie, the love interest. You don't have one, but two men interested in you. What was it about the role that caught your eye and you were like, oh my God, I have to play her?
Well, I was like, damn, I really want to have two love interests and just have men chase me for the whole film. So that's a joke. I related to the character a lot. Yeah, a lot of the very subtle experiences I've had in my life, just like moving through the world, they were actually represented in the script, and that was really rare.
All right, everyone. We are here with Kobe Labie, the writer and producer, the brains behind this magical film. What was going through your brain or your head when you decided to write this? Because this is really a masterpiece.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, it all starts with the magical Negro trope, these black best friend characters, these, sort of racist stock characters that were written into movies and all I always saw as a kid and always bothered me. And first and foremost, it's a response to that. But then beyond that, it also became a way for me to talk about certain experiences of mine growing up as a black person in America. I would say it's less about the magical Negro trope in some ways than it is about what it's like to be a black person growing up in a culture that makes stories like that over and over again.
So you play Dee Dee. Tell us a little bit about that role.
Sure. Dee Dee is the head of the Society of Magical Negroes, and she's just, badass bitch who's in charge of things. And when the status quo is questioned, she gets very angry.
I love it. What was your favorite part of filming?
I get to levitate, so I get to wear a harness, and I got to fly, which was incredible.
What message do you want people to take away from this movie?
I guess I hope the message is your thoughts, your feeling, your voice is valid. Also, other people's thoughts, feelings are valid. Everyone's experience is different than yours. And I hope it sparks a conversation, but also funny. I want you to tee hee hee ha ha ha.
All right, so the man of the hour, Justice Smith, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. How does it feel your main character meets David Allen Grier and he's like, oh, come join the American Society? How was it working with him, and what was it about this role that you were like, you know what, I have to do this?
David is incredible. David is a comedy icon. He's just as funny off screen as he is on screen. And he would make fun of me every day. He would say that I sounded like a hipster with a mouth full of marbles, which is true. So I respect him. But I love David. He's a real one. I feel like our relationship kind of mirrored that on screen. He indirectly mentored me in some ways. I don't even think he realizes it, but I learned a lot from him.
And what was it about this project that you loved, that you wanted to be a part of it?
I understood this dilemma that a lot of people of color have to go through of being making unnecessary space for the majority. I grew up in a very white environment, and so I kind of was stuck in that vicious cycle as well of maybe if I'm just nice to them, they'll respect me more, and that never works out, So I knew I could bring complexity to the character, so I was really excited to do that.
I first have to say, I feel like I'm in comedy royalty. David Allen Grier, what a legend, what an honor to speak with you. You play Roger, you take Aaron under his wing, and you bring him into this, the American Society. What was it about this role that you were, you had to jump on it and be part of this project?
What really got me is I grew up with guys like this. They weren't talking about magical Negroes and stuff, but these were the older black men who were like, you should go to law school. that I was never gonna. I just was not built for that.
We would have missed out.
Exactly. You know, my dad was a doctor. He gave me applications for med school, and I'm like, I'm joining the circus. I can't, you know.
Oh, I would have paid to see that.
So it was the attitude. There are a lot of characters I play that I know, that I experience. They're not me, but I know of them. So he's definitely reminded me of that guy because, you know, justice, his first thing is like American Society of Magical Negroes. I mean, what? But I'm very serious about my thing, you know. I think if you ask Roger, but look at the world. Look at the violence against women, people of color in the world today. I bet you Roger would say, but imagine how much worse it would be if we weren't there.
Exactly.
So that kind of stuff. And the stuff I asked my parents when I was a child, you know, about apartheid, about situations in which the population of black people far outnumbered the white overseers. Well, why didn't they just take over? It's the system. You can't do that. You can't do that. I was told stories. My grandmother was born in 1900. They lived in the Deep South. So they would tell me stories about the racism and prejudice they endured. Unbelievable stories. And when I was a young kid, that I would say, well, Grandma, when they treated Aunt Ethel that way, why didn't she just say, you know, I'm not going to stand for it? And she said she could have been beaten. She could have been raped.
Yeah.
She could have been murdered. That's the way it was, Dave. And in a weird way, I really feel like the teaching that came. So when I would go to my grandmother and I would say, you know, these white kids wouldn't play with us. They called me the N-word, and my grandmother would look at me. So I understood.
Yeah.
That's not going to stop you.
No.
It's not going to stop you, right?
No.
Good. It was wrong, right?
Absolutely.
Let's pick up and let's keep moving.
Well, we're gonna be better.
Exactly. So I didn't know it at the time, but I realized that's really what she was doing. This is what I went through. You're going to get through this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amen.
You going to stay home and quit? No, we can't do that. Let's go on about
You get
this.
up. You rise above.
Exactly.
What is the message you want the viewers to take from this?
Well, a great movie, a good movie, the conversation extends after you leave the movie. You text your friends, you call them, you say, look here, you got to go see this movie. You know what? Talk to me after you see it. And you crunch it, the stuff that worked, the stuff that didn't work. I wanted more of this, less of that. If you're talking about a movie or a play or a book that you've read long after, that means it made an impact. If you see the movie and it was just a bad date night, you won't ever bring that up. It didn't make an impact.
Yeah.
So it really, those movies, those projects that extend that conversation. And the best movie is one, I got to go see it again.
Yes.
I got to go back. I want to see it 2 or 3 times. You know, that's a great movie.